Hello.
Hello, Ian. We are here for a sweet hang with Mr. John O'Nolan. John, welcome to the sweet hang.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Oh, it's great. So I saw you, you're the creator of a bunch of stuff. We can talk about that. You're very important. But I saw, most importantly, you hit Laravel New on something, and I thought, my first reaction was, Ian, we got to get him on. Now's the time. We wanted to have you on for a sweet hang. So I guess if you want to say what you do, introduce yourself, whatever. But then let's talk about Laravel New.
Well, I'm happy to have a chance to contribute to the madness after DMing you both for weeks on end. Surely not again. Not again with the Laravel New. I'm John. I suppose most people know me for working on a product called ghost.org. Laravel New, though, is what I do as my passion.
Yes,
I need the hat.
That's it. You have this. I feel like Ghost is like hitting its stride, and you have all this success, and you're always sharing these big numbers and millions of dollars, all stuff. But the only stuff you're really like, you're down in there in the Laravel New. That's what you're doing. That's what you're actually doing.
And you're gonna like this, Ian. I double Laravel Newed. This past week. It's not even just one.
But that's our show, folks. Thanks for coming today. I'm out of here.
We should make it a 2-minute show. How great would that be? That's it.
But it's two different projects. So I've reached the point with Claude now where I've just decided that the time spent waiting for a thing to complete is time wasted. And so for a while I tried doing parallel Claude agents and going back and forth. Then you're gonna mess with work trees and all that nonsense. Yeah. No. Laravel 2, Laravel New, two different desktops. So back and forth.
It's twice as productive. I love
For the listener, if I may, recap, and you tell me where I went wrong here. John O'Nolan is the creator and founder of Ghosts.org, a wildly successful open source, not as a public benefit, it's a not-for-profit, changing the world. Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of users, millions of dollars in revenue. John O'Nolan decides, I need something else. Like, I got to scratch the itch. I'm going to start Laravel New on a side project. And then on the side project, he says, I've got too much time running this company and doing this side project. I've got too much time. So we're going to go again recursively and create another side. So now we're in side project. Did I, just so the listeners caught up, did I get all that right? So we've got the side and the side now. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's great. Keep going. Tell us what they are. What are the projects?
This is just like your life, Aaron, right? Don't you have too much free time where you're going to have multiple side projects to your side projects?
I like to think I'm somewhat reformed, but, this is kind of bringing me back and being like, why the hell not?
Yeah, why not? Laravel New.
He doesn't have Twitter anymore. He could Laravel New every morning until noon.
Truly. I could, from 8 a.m. to noon, I could build 100 startups.
So the one I'm spending the most time on at the moment is, of all things, an RSS reader, which...
I love this. I love it.
It seems like one of the worst possible ideas to me, but I tweeted, I think I'm working on the worst idea possible, and got like more replies than I've had to anything in a while of people going, this is great, you should do it.
From the 30 and up crowd, I'm sure, right?
Definitely, yes. This is grandpa
technology
for sure. But it's really fun, and also I've managed to get it in a weekend and a half to beyond. It's already better than the products I use currently, which is Feedly. And Feedly hasn't changed in like years. And is now, if you go to feedly.com, it says it's a threat monitoring.
Yeah, it's all AI stuff.
Something or other.
Shocking. No,
doesn't seem to have anything to do with RSS anymore.
I used to use Feedly. And I got back into RSS and I was like using Feedly, and it was like all it is like trying to make you do all this AI feeds and like all this. And I can imagine some useful AI features for my RSS feed, but they weren't like building any of that stuff. Like they were just like doing all this like business threat analysis stuff. Like, I don't even understand what this is. This is supposed to be a feed reader. I don't know.
It says the three H1s are threat intelligence, market intelligence, and newsreader.
It's a weird combination. Like
embarrassing.
I don't really get it even. Like, so you were using that. So so you got sick of that. Like I got sick of it, and
and I've got all the stuff I love to read, but it's all over the place. Some of it's in newsletters, some of it's in RSS. There's no good way of organizing it. The apps aren't changing. It's easier than ever to build anything. Why not just build the thing the way I want it to work, make it work.
So how do you want it to work? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
so what,
and it sounds like you've got the
at.
newsletters in there, which is
that's
really cool because that's always its own reading time to me is RSS and newsletters, but they're in different places, and that's a whole mess. So yeah, I want to hear about that.
So a lot of it's just about design. All these old apps are slow and unloved. They genuinely haven't changed in 10 years, so many of them. And then they kind of have a horrible reading experience. I would like to have a nice reading experience. And then I have all kinds of like fun ideas around how can you augment what is a technology that hasn't changed in 15 years. So RSS 2 was the last iteration of the RSS web standard. It was declared done as in we will never change this again. The web has changed quite a bit since RSS 2.0 was published. So given that I have some influence over a publishing platform, building a reading app has potentially interesting ways that you could do more than what prior RSS readers could have done if you expose structured data in a way that is in more detail than the old RSS standard would be capable of. Obvious example of that is now it's really common to have premium blogs and newsletters, but RSS doesn't support that, right? So then you have to have this janky thing where every user has a private RSS feed and subscribes to a different thing. It's kind of a performance nightmare. Where what if we had payments built into the spec? What if we had a spec with payments built in, and then you had a reader app that could support all that stuff?
This is it.
He's gone way over the top.
I see the vision.
This is the beautiful Laravel New right here. It's like the RSS. We're recreating the RSS economy. Like, yes, there we go.
It's the new web standard.
Okay.
Now, are you building on top of RSS has an extensibility capability? Are you building on top of that, or you're thinking new standard, fully new standard?
Well, it's early days so far. So right now we're just focusing on basic RSS parity. I have looked into the kind of RSS composability where you sort of define your own XML tags. It's fine. I don't like it. It doesn't feel like the future. JSON feels a lot easier to work with. There's a thing called JSON feeds, which is just kind of what if RSS was JSON? It's okay. It's a little better than XML, but I feel like we can go further. I think we can go deeper.
I love this, leveraging the other platform. This is what I'm talking. This is businessing. He's businessing, big businessing. Yeah,
this is synergy. 1 + 1 is 3 here. Yes. This is good. I like this.
This is amazing. And then the other thing that you got to fold in here, because I actually posted about this a little while ago. I would love to have a way to post like podcasts in here too, and like have them summarized or whatever. Like there's things I want to do with podcasts. Certain types of podcasts are like news podcasts and stuff. Not even like news, although those too. But like there's a podcast industry podcast I follow, and I don't want to listen to every one of them.
Yeah.
And I kind of want it in my like reading flow. I actually don't want it in my podcast listening flow, but there's like just nothing that does stuff like that. So
can you imagine if mostly technical cannot be summarized because Ian's horse is sick and Aaron buys his neighbor's house to dig a garage? That makes no sense. And if you were just reading that, it makes no sense whatsoever. So don't summarize ours.
Well, we opt out of an opt-out system. Ours is very long though, like the one I'm talking about is a 4-minute podcast. It's every day, it's 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's like, that would be perfect. I just want to read it. Like I don't actually want to listen to it. So like there are things like that out there.
John, you're like the most power users of Claude Code. So like when you sat down to Laravel New, what did you do? Because I don't have insight.
This is an amazing question.
I don't have insight into what a super power user does with Claude Code. You're like token leaderboard kind of power user.
I don't think I do anything particularly advanced. I think I just do a lot more of it than most people, as far as I can tell. So my project initiation is just the usual Laravel New, pick a starter kit, off we go. Depending on how quickly I think I'm going to get to production, I'll either pick WorkOS if it's going to be quickly or not if it's not, because just the additional setup is kind of a pain. WorkOS accounts. I don't know why they don't allow multiple accounts for WorkOS. It's like tied to one email domain or one domain name per WorkOS. Anyway, that's a side quest. So I get the project up and running with Laravel Boost installed. And then usually it's just kind of copying in the things I've used before from other Laravel projects. So augmenting the generated Claude MD file with some additional bits and pieces that I use commonly, putting in my usual like Claude commands, little subdirectory of commands, which are really common
Anything
things I use.
interesting in there?
Not particularly interesting, but the one that I use it like 100 times a day is called just /test. And it's a pretty short prompt that says, run the tests with this command, which is not PHP artisan test. It's a composer command that will do like pint and then Laravel stan, then run all the tests, go through all of them, and then resolve issues one by one, test after resolving each issue. Do not fix multiple things at the same time. Keep doing this over and over again until all tests pass. So whenever I've built anything, fixed anything, done anything, it will just be /test on the end and then wait for it to all go green. And that is like the fastest feedback loop. And then then it's just kind of off to the races, honestly.
Do you do the testing as a separate run? Like, do you have it build code and then you have it build tests, or do you have it build tests when it builds the feature?
Build the feature and then do the tests, because I rarely know exactly what I want when it starts to build the feature. It's an iterative process. So I have it build something, I'm like, not really like that. Let's change it, or let's do something different, or I test it out and I come up with a better idea. Test-driven development, I think, is great, or works well for me when I know exactly what I want. So if I have a very clear idea of what I'm trying to achieve or what I want the outcome to be, I might start with tests first or have it write tests straight away. But often with this type of kind of vibe engineering, vibe coding type feel, it's exploratory. It's trying out a few different ways of doing things. And then once I have it kind of locked in, like, I'm happy with this now, I want to know if it regresses from this, then I'll have it go write tests. And kind of that's my way of like locking it in so future agents don't screw it up.
Right.
So the way that you're building this, you have so much time that you had to build something additional. So what is the thing that you are doing that is taking 10 minutes? Like when you're telling Claude, go do this, what is that thing that you're doing that it takes 10 minutes to do? Is 10 minutes even fair, or is it like you have 5 minutes and you're like, I just can't sit here, man?
It's much closer to the second one, and it's more like 1 minute. It's more like 1 minute, and my options
there
are...
is something weird when you're waiting for it, though. When you're waiting for it, it's like, that's weird. It's not enough time to like go do a businessy thing, but it's like you're kind of in the coding
unless you're
mode.
John, he's going to go build a new brand new business. Well, that's different,
though. He's staying in code mode. He's just switching between the topics. He's not going off to his email to then write a 10-minute email, but he only had 1 minute, really, So like it's a little different.
Because it feels unproductive to just stare at it going, discombobulating,
talk.
Fucking spinner or whatever. So I want to do something. What are we going to do? Like read Twitter? No. Emails? No.
Then that takes you off that way. Yeah.
Oh, then you're gone. Yeah. So do you just tell it like build this feature, or what is it? Like, what do you? What are your prompts like? Okay.
Build this feature, fix this bug. So it varies depending on how big the thing is that I want to build. Depends on the type of prompt it's going to get. It will often start as like, we're going to do this big thing, make a plan, do that whole thing, then we'll start working through the plan and doing all that kind of stuff. And then after that, it's usually a lot of iteration. I don't use plan mode at all. It's just go and change this, move this here, update this, add this field, and then review its work as it goes, and then just kind of push it out until an area is feature complete, and then move on to the next area. And then if one model's getting particularly stuck and just going around in circles on not getting to the root cause, or the thing I really look out for now is how much, how workaroundy the code it starts writing feels. You quite often notice once the model gets onto this track of sort of creating spaghetti, then it will add more spaghetti to compensate for the spaghetti. And it will very rarely kind of step back and go, oh, this is conceptually flawed. I'm building workarounds. So I'm always keeping an eye out for that. And when it starts going down that kind of path, usually Claude, then I'll switch over something like Codex on the new 5.1, and then have that thing do examine this and rethink this architecture because this seems messy. And Codex is very judgy and dismissive of everything, and it's like, yes, this is terrible, we should rewrite it. And so then I'll usually let it do that, and that kind of untangles it, and then we get going again.
Yeah, because the Claude UI is nicer, and I've tried all these different ones. I feel like, there's just something nicer about the Claude experience, even though maybe the other models are even better or whatever. But it's like there's something like it's more than just the quality of the LLM, right? It's like the whole experience. I feel like it's still better. But how do you? This is all right. Since you're the expert, before we get on to your side project, I have one more like Claude Code question, which is like, how anal do you get with the like it? They'll just make subtle differences in things, right? Like, oh, I built an action and then I built another action 2 weeks later. But the second action is not quite set up the same way as the first action. Whereas like a human would just do it the same way every time. This is the way I write actions, right? And this is the way I structure things or whatever. But like, no, it's a whole different pass. It just set things up slightly differently. It put the validation in a different spot. Whatever. Like there's just these little subtle differences that sneak in. Like, do you crush those and you make it all the same? Do you then put it in the Claude MD? Like, are you serious about that? Or you're like, this is vibe coding. I don't really care. As long as it's like working, I don't really care if like the code is different across the app.
I do care, but not in the moment. So I try and batch those like modes of working into different sessions. So typically if I'm doing feature development, it will be just get this working. Like we're focused on the end user experience. We're focused on what the app should do, not on like how neatly the code is structured. But then once I'm kind of done with a set of features, I'll quite often spin up a fresh agent and go, look for inconsistencies in the projects, which is the best pattern, go and refactor the others to follow the same pattern. And then as long as the test suite is good, or it doesn't actually need to be good, it just needs to be extensive, then you can catch regressions pretty easily. So I kind of have build new thing mode, cleanup mode, and then this is a great thing. I don't understand why everyone's always going like, oh, your vibe code project is going to be a mess and it's going to have performance issues. It's going to have security issues. Like, cool. So tell an agent to go and fix those. Like that works great. One of the best things in Laravel is just to go and optimize this thing for performance. And it does an amazing job. It goes in and like analyzes all the code, is out. It'll put in debug tracing and performance logging. It'll pull out the kind of highest impact things it can do, and then it will go and improve those. And then with like things like Nightwatch, I'll just monitor it in production, see the chart go from up here to like a flat line afterwards, so I know it's working. Modes back and forth.
I feel like it's better at those. Like when it has something to work with, that is when it's best. Versus when you're trying to invent something, that's where it's not as useful to me. Of like the thinking of the feature that it should build or what should this feature actually do, like is not nearly as good as that as it is about like here's a bunch of code, like look at all this code and then figure out what's broken or how to make it faster or how to make it all the same or all that stuff. So I pretty much along the lines of what I do too. It's like kind of the modes of like you kind of get in feature development mode, push forward, take a step back. Okay. You're just a regular man. You're just like us. You're just like the people.
He's not just like us. He's better than us. He's better than us.
He's just like us, Aaron.
No, he's
just like us.
One of the things I try and do, which is kind of fun, is moderate the level of specificity of prompting. Because I think when you know what you want, which is a strength in AI-assisted coding in general, sometimes you can get too specific about what you want, and you actually narrow, or it's a very inefficient way of getting the models to do the smallest amount of thing every time. So every now and then when I'm in an area where I know like, hey, this is kind of easy and I know what I want. So say I'm adding something that tracks like your work experience and job roles you've held in the past. I could say like I want to have a field for company and title and how long you worked there. And like I know I want to have them in this particular order and I know I want to have an add button, and I could describe all of that in meticulous detail and it would do it correctly. But every now and then you just go, I want to have a way of for my users to be able to record their work experience and have that be output on their profile. And be blown away that it just builds 90% what you would have described in meticulous detail and just gets it right. It's always fun to be surprised by those. And depending on the model, it can be really impressive, like what scale of thing is possible to achieve with that if you just occasionally like let it off the leash a little bit.
Well, and also sometimes think of things you didn't think of, which I find interesting too. Like like a field you wouldn't have put in, you wouldn't have told it to put that field, but you're like, that makes sense, right, or whatever. Let it off the leash. Okay, gotta let it off the leash.
I gotta try.
I think no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think if it's not making some huge mistake 10% of the time, you're probably prompting too tightly. Like I think a good pattern is it's made a mess and I have to scrap that and try again. Because if you're never hitting that, you're probably not like using its maximum potential. You're probably like keeping too tight of a hold on it.
It's just replacing your typing instead of it adding additional logic there. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Is this thing available for public sign up? Can I start reading some feeds with this thing?
No, but I'm very confident that will be before outro.
That's 100% given for sure. We just recorded an episode before this, and I was like, I haven't coded anything in 2 weeks. Like, I've done nothing. So in outro land. So
the most devastating thing possible, but with the accent, it's like, it's pretty endearing. We love this guy. What a nice guy. That's
sweet
incredible.
way
to
tell me I'm totally unproductive.
John. Yeah. Do you have a name or a domain for it?
I have one. It's a domain I've had for ages, and it kind of works, but I don't quite love it.
Don't love it.
It's like one I had for a different project. It kind of fits this one, but I'm not very committed to it. Not as good as outro.fm, which is a sick domain. So that might be.
You don't have to come back from it. It was a great comment. There's no recovery needed. You don't need to pay him,
fine.
adulation.
That wasn't an apology. That was just a compliment.
He understands me. Yeah. Nobody understands me better than John O'Nolan. Let me tell you that right now. He gets it.
Oh, incredible.
But no, I think I'll have a sign up in the next couple of weeks. It's already at the point where I can actively use it. So why not? But I'm probably going to, I'm not going to make it public sign up for a while. I think I'll only let a handful of people in, because I don't want to deal with your fucking support issues of people on the internet asking for things.
Yeah, and it's just like you might decide to blow it up and change something big in there, and then it's like, well, now it's like you have to manage this transition instead of just being like, sorry, everybody, like I'm blowing this up, and you're my 20 friends and family here, so it's fine, and I don't care. Versus like, you have 1,000 people using it, and it's a big deal.
Which creates kind of fun pricing dynamics, because if you don't want users, so whatever price you want, then you could slowly bring it down.
What is that? We haven't even got to the side project yet, but for this main side project, so it's going to be pay for. It sounds like. What's your thinking there? Yeah, what's your thinking on?
Depending on how resource heavy it is, which I'm not sure yet. How resource heavy it will be. I think the model makes most sense for RSS readers is freemium, probably with some limits, right? But I don't know if I want to deal with that. So it might be low price points for low limits and high price points for high limits.
Even if it's like $3 a month or something, just to like keep the riffraff out. And
if you don't want to support issues, don't do freemium.
Yeah, exactly. It depends. So the easier it is to run, and the lower maintenance is to run, the more my appetite will be for.
That depends what your goals are too. Like if you just want it to be huge, right? If you want this to be maybe like a renaissance of RSS, like it almost has to be free, right? But then like on the flip side, if it's like, no, like I just want this for myself, I want to make some money, then then I think that's then doesn't have to be freemium at all, right? So
and it's
like
more
if you're trying
in that
to set this new standard though, like then that implies you would want it to be free, because like you have this new standard, right? Yeah, you want users to use the new standard. So
we'll see. We'll see how far I can get.
So what's the deal? You got to go out and check every feed every 5 minutes or something. Like that does sound like it could be a little heavy.
Yeah. So at the moment it has 30-minute polling with a back off and retry depending on how the feed responds.
Okay.
I think the next iteration I'll do of that is to have automatic adjustment of the polling frequency based on the frequency of the publisher's publishing schedule. So on a feed where you can see in the RSS feed the posts are 30 minutes apart, you probably need to poll like every 5 minutes. But if the posts are like 2 weeks apart, we can poll every day or two. So we could do that.
That's kind of fun. And then that's kind of like a fun programming, like peer programming challenge. I like
a little bit. Yeah, and then there's all kinds of like pub sub hub aggregation level.
Yeah, I was just gonna say though, wasn't there some like what
sub hubbub? That's ridiculous.
I thought at one point there was like like you were like the big platforms had a like pinging system of like the feed is updated, and there was some centralization to all that stuff.
There's been various iterations of that over the years. None of them have been.
They're all
really
dead
the
or
definitive thing.
Dying. Yeah.
But
we're out there still polling. I love
an
old web stuff and old like programming techniques are just like, we just poll everything all the time. Like, that's just what we do. We're just gonna send 1 billion HTTP requests, and we're just gonna check every feed, and that's just what we're gonna do. And like that's
and it works.
Kind of solutions. Yeah, and it works.
And it works. Works great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't need retries. You don't need to track state.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's what Marco Arman. I don't know if you guys know Marco Arman.
Mm-hmm.
He's like so you guys know him. So he talks about this a fair amount, because that's what they do with like Overcast, and it's like he just whatever. He's got some servers, and they just go out there and see if there's new podcasts on the feeds, and like that's kind of it.
Servers are cheap. Just go check on it.
Yep. Yeah, especially now the servers are so much cheaper, and it's like whatever, and faster, and it's like one decent sized server could probably handle quite a few HTTP requests, just doing simple checks. And I mean, all this, I feel like all the caching header stuff is pretty good now too. So it's like, you're not even pulling down the feed necessarily. Like if you're getting the good cache headers and stuff. So
I think everything usually can be a lot simpler than most people make it. It's also a good function of being traditionally a designer and not a proper programmer is I don't know what I don't know, and so I'm just figuring it out. It means I don't overthink maybe as much as the default about what the perfect architecture is going to be until you have some reason to figure that out, which is good, but leads me to asking some decidedly stupid questions of the Laravel Cloud team when I've invariably broken something again.
Yeah, aren't you running like just tens and tens of thousands of jobs on cloud?
Oh no, millions. Yeah.
What product is that for?
That's for the back end of explore.ghost.org, which is our public-facing directory discovery system for like all Ghost sites in the world. And so the front end is just basically a list of Ghost sites that you can kind of preview, and they're ranked by a relatively complex algorithm. And then the back end is CRM-ish in terms of how we can understand and browse who's using Ghost and how and what for. Obviously, sites we host, we have more data about. Sites that are self-hosted, we have very little data about, but then we go out to the public web and various data sources and try and sort of backfill and hydrate data to understand, what are the popular sites using Ghost. So you can do things like look up data from Ahrefs or open PageRank, kind of try and get domain reputation information from various different places, and then use that as a factor to algorithmically rank and kind of sort popular sites. But that does an inordinate amount of work to go and fetch that data from all these maybe 20 different sources. It connects to Claude to go and read every single website and then categorize it into one of our categories, which was a thing that just was not possible before AI. So what are you going to do? Have a human go and read every site and do what category is this guy? Which is super cool. But and all of those things are in jobs. And then all of those things need to update on some fairly regular cadence to make sure that the data's fresh.
And so cool. what kind of setup are you running on cloud? They have like Q clusters now that scale up and down, and so tell me about that.
Yeah, so I got my app server as a $5 VPS, which is the 512 megabytes of RAM.
Right.
The public site is cached to hell in Cloudflare mainly, so not a lot makes it through to the app server. The app server doesn't do a whole lot other than dispatch jobs, because most of the kind of work is offloaded to the queue. And then the queue cluster is, I think it's Flex V. They all have stupid names. It's one with like a gig of RAM, maybe 2 gigs of RAM. And then they're all set to auto scale, but they never do. They just seem to be
with millions. It doesn't need to.
Well, Aaron, I finally figured this out, because I know I told you. Actually, I think I've told you both
I got
mine
a first
saying
name, so this is going to be a big reveal. I love it.
I told you both mine saying QXR. So the thing I was doing initially was I have so I've got tens of thousands of sites. Each site has hundreds of fields. Most of those fields need to go and be updated, some hourly, some nightly, some weekly. And so every time I need to update one of the fields, I was just saying, okay, we'll take my let's say at some point 50,000 sites. For each of them, create a job to go and update this piece of data from an external API and then update the thing. So I just put 50,000 jobs on the queue.
Of course.
And then, of course, Laravel tries to process that queue as quickly as possible, right? But then you hit API rate limits. You don't want them to execute quickly. So then I was trying to figure out, how do you slow down a queue? Which, to cut a very long story short, very difficult, not intuitive, not easy to do. Laravel wants to process
not a lot
queues
of people
quickly.
do it, yeah.
It doesn't want to process queues slowly. There aren't actually very good ways of slowing it down. And so what I finally figured out is if you don't put all the jobs on the queue at the same time, you just put, say, 100 jobs on every 3 minutes instead of doing all 50,000 every night or something. It balances out, but the queue can process fast. You don't hit the API rate limits, and everyone stays happy. And so that made my life a lot easier.
Was this Aaron's idea? This was Aaron's discovery here, or this?
No, Aaron had a different idea.
Okay.
I was just various.
Right up my alley.
I knew you were because you sent me a message about this too, and I just said to do it the same way you were already doing it. So I was not helpful at all. Yeah,
yeah,
that's funny.
I asked various people. I was like, how would you do this? Because I feel like I'm doing something very wrong. And when I was putting the 50K at a time on, I was just making everything crash constantly, all kinds of different ways.
So did you end up like
cool.
just putting like a date time, like last updated at type column on the database, and you're going about it that way?
Yeah, for each data source, so that each one can kind of iterate through by the last update on that particular thing.
Yep.
John and his Q workers, before the mostly technical party at Laracon, I got a telegram from John that said, it was either hide your Q workers or lock up your Q workers. I'm on my way to the party. That boy loves some Q jobs. I know that much. It's true.
You got to keep the cloud team on their toes.
That's right.
They're just living it easy over there. We got to have some real customers doing real stuff, causing trouble, breaking things. That's what I like to hear.
Here's 50,000 jobs. Process them as slowly as possible. And internally, they're like, what the hell's going on? What does he want?
I'm looking to slow this whole thing down. What do you got for me? I'm sick of this thing running fast.
It turns out nothing.
They got nothing for me. Yeah.
It just seems odd to me. I don't understand why this isn't a thing that you can configure a particular queue, like define a queue, slow updates, and say the job processing rate of this queue should be 1 job per second.
Yeah.
Whatever I put on this queue, process 1 job per second.
You would think it would
the
be
only
possible.
other way I think you could do that is with delayed jobs, but I don't know the queue. I know SQS you can only delay up to 15 minutes, and I don't know what. I assume they're using Redis for their driver, which I imagine you can delay indefinitely, but I don't know. But that approximates it, but it's not exactly what you're looking for.
You're right. That was my only functional workaround prior to getting to a reasonable solution, was to do that. But it gets messy when the queue gets really big. I was exceeding, what was it? The max request size for Redis as a result of kind of looping through and setting all those delays, which was a pain. But yes, that was functional. All the like rate limiting stuff built into Laravel is a disaster for this, because the way the rate limiting works is it releases a job back to the queue if you are above the limit. But then as soon as it's released back to the queue, another worker tries to pick it up again and goes, no, can't do that. Release it again, pick it up, release it again. So at one point I was doing 5 million attempts to process 1,000 jobs just to stay under the rate limit.
I could see getting a call from Fideloper and being like, hey, John, can we talk about your queues here for a second? Yeah.
No, this is the funny thing. I kept saying to the cloud team, I was like, guys, I think I'm really screwing this up. Like, I should probably be doing something different, right? And they're like, bro, I don't know. It seems fine. Let's see what we can do to scale up your service. Like, are you sure? Because I think this is wrong. I think I'm doing this badly.
Fantastic. You've been doing it wrong, exactly. Just it's just there's no good solution until you kind of brute force the solution, which I like. It's like, let's just shove it in the database and let's just slow our roll on our own and
see what happens.
That's it. It's fine. Yeah.
All
right, let's pay some bills here.
Let's give them a tease.
Okay.
So that they stick around. Okay, you ready? Watch this. John, your side project has a side project. I want to hear about your other side project. But before we do, did you see that? That was good.
I love that. It's perfect.
That's great. It's
You're
flawless.
a professional.
All right. Listen, this is a bonus episode, so we're going to blow through them. We're going to go onesie-twosie. Here we go. This episode is brought to you by Bento, bentonow.com, and the ad read says whatever my homepage says, LOL. So the homepage says Bento is the best email service provider for teams and CRMs, and we use it at TryHard Studios. Check out Bento now if you need email, transactional, or marketing.
Flare by Spotsy. All-in-one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. Check them out at flareapp.io/performance-monitoring.
This episode is also brought to you by IttyBit, media APIs for developers. Convert, compress, and extract intelligence data from your video, audio, and image files with just a few lines of code. You can start processing for free at ittybit.com.
And finally, by new sponsor, No Compromises, the Laravel Dev subscription. If you have a successful Laravel product, but it's accumulated layers of technical debt over the years, resist the urge to type Laravel new and instead have Joel and Aaron make it a little bit better each month until it feels as good as new. Thank you to No Compromises. Check them out at nocompromises.io. But don't listen to that Laravel new advice.
We love
Laravel
to
knew
give
everything.
The sponsors a bonus episode of A Sweet Hang. So thank you to all of them for sponsoring the show. Now, John.
Okay, so the side project.
What
have
is
it.
the side project?
Yeah, so this is where it gets awkward, and I say, which one?
Oh, no!
Laravel New! Laravel New forever! So me and John have had a lot of discussion about tattoos, and I think we're honing in. We're honing in. We might have to do it. Me and John, next time we're together, we find a nice tattoo
Laravel New
shop.
tattoo.
Laravel New tattoos.
Ian, I don't have a lot of veto rights, and I never exercise them, but I am vetoing you getting your first tattoo ever is Laravel New. Veto.
Right across
Terrible
my chest,
idea.
Tupac style.
John,
Laravel
you can
New.
do it. You've got a lot of awesome tattoos, but for the first tattoo ever, you're getting Laravel New as a shtick, a 2-month running shtick. You're gonna put it on your body forever. No,
I like it.
Laravel New.
Veto.
I approve.
John's in.
No. All right, pick any side project, John. Any one you want.
Let's see. I've got one. It's a little bit on the back burner at the moment. It was when it was pre-Claude. I think it was just GPT. It was when this one got started. But it's a hiring applicant tracking system. Long story short,
we're all building one of those.
Everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to do that.
Because all the options are so bad. So bad. They're so overcomplicated. They're all made for like these complicated businesses with these complicated HR requirements. Whereas for just a small business, remote team, especially software company, the problem I have is we get thousands of applicants for jobs at Ghost. I have to review all of them. Reviewing each one takes so much time because the app is so bad. And it has all these features I don't want or need. And they're expensive. Workable's like $1,000 a month.
It's so bad.
The one we use is not that much, but it's not a great app.
The other problem with it is it's like, and I get why they're doing this because like they want the subscription revenue, but it's like they all want to be this HR department management platform and have all this other stuff that's not just applicant tracking. And I only want the applicant tracking. I don't want like your time off stuff. I don't want your timesheet thing.
You've
just want
ADP
applicant tracking. Right. I got whatever for that.
Yeah.
So they all are pushing that. So that's like embeds in everything. It's trying to get you over to the HR thing to do stuff in there. And there's all this extra tabs for the HR thing. And like, I just want applicant tracking. I don't want your HR solution, blah, blah, blah. So, and they're all like
most
that
of them have tons of really detailed compliance features as well, which we have an international remote team. That's just which compliance of which country. It doesn't exist. You know, it's just, I just need a simple thing: process inbound form submissions. Show me the things that have been submitted, and then let me communicate with people easily and track who's where. And you know, really straightforward.
Feels like there's a market for it.
Yeah, this sounds like a good one. And I can't believe I'm going to say it. Nobody clipped this. This sounds like one you should just Laravel New and start over with Claude.
Start again.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It was also I built that one with Livewire 2. We were in the Livewire 2 era, and I didn't really know what I was doing with any of them. And so it's definitely a Laravel New situation. Also, applicant tracking has enough state that I think I'll probably go React for this.
That's what I was going to ask.
over.
What was what's the stack on the feed reader one? Which one did you choose?
Feed readers is React. Then I've got another one that's Flux. I try and like dabble with some of the different options just so I can kind of understand the nuances and the trade-offs between them. I've been having a lot of fun with Flux. Flux is really fun, but then
it's moving quick. It looks good.
Yeah, I keep thinking of the things Ian's been talking about with Flux v4, and then I tried to convince Claude to upgrade to Livewire 4 last night, and it was like, it's in beta. Are you sure you want to do this? I was like, Ian said it's fine.
Claude's like, I've heard of Ian. Are you sure you want to do this?
That is like the worst part of this stuff still is when you have something moving fast. It's like, since it doesn't know about any of the stuff, and like there's big changes in Livewire 4 and doesn't know about any of them. So like I built my own little like structure to at least inform it of the big stuff, but it doesn't really know about it. So like that part's a little bit annoying still, you know. But and I don't know, Boost maybe helps a little bit, but I feel like I don't even know if the Livewire 4 docs are in Boost yet. Probably not.
I'm not sure.
So
the most frustrating thing is the inertia docs are still seemingly inaccessible to Claude, which is weird. Codex seems to be able to read them, but if you give Claude the inertia docs link, it's like, I can't access this URL. Something to do with it being not server-side rendered, or the server-side rendered content doesn't work correctly. But the trick I found there is to just, now for all doc sites, I just put in /llms.txt, and almost all of them have that. Just feed that to the IR instead, and it pulls down.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah,
I missed this. I still think that way it does. It's not as broad, but like I still find when I have I want it to do a certain very particular thing that if you just give it the docs URL, then it works like every time, you know. It's like here's all the MCP and all this stuff. If I just give it the URL and I say like read this and do this, then it just works, you know.
I've found that as well.
Yeah.
I was doing some Tailwind 4 stuff last night, and it was like, oh, well, you know, you can't really do this. And I went to the Tailwind docs because I knew that you could. And I took the page and said, read this page. And it was like, oh, you're right. You could do this. And I'm like, I know. And that is a meta point that, like, I knew that you could do that. I knew that the docs said you could do that. I'm smart enough, and I have enough internal context to know. So I don't know what the kids are doing when they literally have never opened the docs sites to know that, like, no, this part is actually possible.
Right. But then kind of doesn't matter maybe too, because like whatever, you could just have Claude like write out the CSS, the raw CSS to do it because it knows the raw CSS, right? Or whatever. Like if you're truly like full vibe coding it, it's like whatever, it made like
but this was like
style elements or whatever.
This was like, no, you can't create custom variants in Tailwind that way. And like that's kind of hard. There's like custom utility actually. And it's like that's hard to mimic. It's like you could just hard code, you know, all of these 1 through 64. I'll just write those classes for you.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it'll do
no,
that.
I don't want you to do that. So I don't know. How serious are we about this applicant tracking thing? Is this are you working on this?
Pretty serious. Yeah, it's another one.
Yes.
Most of my ideas seem to originate from some combination of here is some software I use that annoys the hell out of me regularly, and here's some software I use that I think I'm paying way too much for that I don't want to pay way too much for. So like one of the other projects I have going is Stripe Analytics. You know, connect your Stripe account, have some analytics. Because all of the ones out there are either too expensive, ones
private equity,
or got acquired and shut down, or bad, or all of the above.
I think Baremetrics got acquired by PE. Oh, there goes my battery. That's too bad.
Oh no, we lost
I'll get another battery in a second. It's plugged into the USB-C. Why is it not charging? It's computers these days. What's the other one? Paddle? Is that one terribly expensive? That's the one that guy exited out of.
Paddle? Is Paddle one?
Paddle acquired one.
Oh,
that was called
Profitwell. Its own thing,
Profitwell. That's the one where the guy exited for $200 million and then went to Cuba, Puerto Rico, to avoid
Paddle
taxes.
Acquired Profitwell and then eventually shut it down. Profitwell had pretty questionable data. And then there's Chart Mogul, which is what we use, which is reasonably good, but extortionately expensive, not worth the money, and has kind of done, you know, one of these things where it's pivoted into becoming an enterprise sales tool that also has SaaS analytics. I just want the SaaS analytics. Stop charging me for the enterprise sales features.
Here's what I don't understand about this whole world. I mean, I get it in the beginning when you had like Baremetrics, I think Quasi kind of invent the idea and that all make great, smart. But like, it's been 10 years, 12, whatever it is. And like Stripe has $8 gazillion. Like, why are the metrics in Stripe not like the ones in Stripe are the worst of all the options? It's like, why can't Stripe just tell me like it knows all the weird edge cases and all the weird rigmarole? You have unlimited money. Like, just make an awesome reporting interface in Stripe, but they don't do that. It's very bizarre to me.
So I know the team at Stripe that works on that a bit, and I've done a lot of the feedback calls on them. It has evolved a bit in the past 2 years. They've improved it slightly. But that is always my point of contention too, is like, why are you allowing these companies shouldn't even be in business.
They shouldn't
just be built into Stripe.
Right, yes. It's very weird to me. It has gotten better, especially in the past couple of years, you're right, but it's still like, it's like, okay, now at least like the main MRR chart makes some kind of sense, but like,
but
there's
no
other
API.
Garbage in there. There's
no API.
No API. Like, a lot of weird stuff.
So it's from as far as I can tell, it seems to be some combination of it's not a priority, and they're trying to be unopinionated in the sense that the Stripe products and Stripe API can be used in so many different ways, so many different configurations for so many different things. It's very hard for Stripe to design a one-size-fits-all metrics solution that's actually going to work for the full spectrum of all of the different Stripe customers. Whereas something like a Baremetrics or a Chart Mogul, they take this niche, right, of like, you have a software SaaS product with subscriptions that look and work like this. If you've got one of those, connect your Stripe account, it just works. But if you've got a Shopify store that has recurring payments for a coffee product, but only on a quarterly basis.
Right.
How are we modeling this out with coupons and trials?
So what's your take? What's your take on it?
I'm not trying to, on that one, I'm not trying to innovate in the slightest. I just want the data out of my Stripe account. I want to see it, and I want to not pay what I currently pay, which is over $2,000 a month for my own data.
What?
Yeah, these things are money printers, Aaron.
There's a lot of money out there.
I gotta go Laravel New. Good Lord.
Laravel New. This is why I always tell people,
crazy.
you gotta sell stuff to businesses. Everybody always wants to sell stuff to consumers. Spend $2,000 a month and are like mildly irked by it. And like maybe they Laravel knew something if you're John O'Nolan, but still it's going to take 2 years for them to actually finish it. And meanwhile, they paid you $50,000 while he was fuddling around with his alternative. And like,
exactly,
it's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's insane.
And this type of product's easier than ever. This is the other thing is, 10 years ago, biometrics, that kind of stuff was scrape all of Stripe, ingest all of the data, build this huge pipeline, do all this complicated stuff to generate metrics. Now you can just dump all of this into a managed ClickHouse provider that already has an API, pull it out, use their front-end SDK that they provide, like give me a chart, and then Claude does all that. Like this is the barrier for building these things has gone way down.
That's pretty boss. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Super cool. Any reason to explore ClickHouse sounds like a fun one. So I
gotta get into ClickHouse.
I can see the temptation on that one.
Yeah, I want big data. I want some big. That's Outro is not going to need big data. Just my
can find a way.
Side project. Yeah, it has to be a ClickHouse project. Like I gotta have a ClickHouse project as my side. That's high on the list. What do you do? I have like just an LLM question for you since you're the expert. So what do you, in your Claude MD? I feel like I'm over engineering my Claude MD, and then it doesn't always follow it anyway. Like, are you just using the boost stuff and with a couple little key things, or are you going deeper with the Claude MD?
Yeah, so I will get the boost thing. That's the starting point. Then what I like to do is when a new project's getting going, I'll describe my product's vision or intention. Like, what the hell is it we're doing in this repository?
Yeah.
Have an AI expand that to describe it in more detail for an agent. Then I'll stick that in there to start. I'll usually pull that out later. But initially, I want to load the context window with the idea of the product so that when the AI is building something, it's not just thinking about like, this is a Laravel project with this structure. It's also thinking, here's the purpose. Here's where we're trying to get.
Yeah.
And then over time, I'll do the little hash save small things to kind of keep it going. So like a most common one of those on a new project is it constantly is like, I've done the thing. Now run npm run dev or composer dev in order to build and see the changes. Stop fucking telling me that. The dev stuff is running. Stop wasting tokens. Like, we're good. And then it'll just kind of adapt over time. And then one thing I do, depending how quickly, every so often as the project evolves, is just run the init again. So when you run /init, Claude will go and like look at your code base, and then it will build the Claude MD file. But then you evolve your code base, you build new features, you change it, and so it can be good to have it repopulate, refresh its kind of idea of what the code base is and what the project is every now and then.
Tip right there. Yeah.
Now, does it work with does it rebuild it from scratch, or does it still factor in what you have in your Claude file already, and then it's like adjusting and adding?
The latter, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's good.
See?
That's worth the price of admission. Yeah.
I know what I'm doing here. Oh my gosh. So how do you find, like, how are you balancing Ghost with, I mean, the first big side project you had was a Ghost initiative, right? So like that's kind of all tied in. But even with that though, it's still taking you away, like whatever, you have people working for you. They could have built this thing, right? So like you're choosing to build it instead of giving it to somebody else, obviously, because you're interested in playing with all the new toys and all that stuff. But like, I guess, what's your time like in the day? Like, are you still doing a lot on Ghost? Are you doing not that much on Ghost and other people are kind of doing more of the day-to-day stuff? Or like, I'm just curious about that part.
Huge amount on Ghost. Team is 35 people. There's a lot of projects in motion at any given moment. The side project stuff's kind of my evenings and weekends for the most part. And then there's still a bunch of AI Laravel adjacent coding within the context of Ghost. So like all the stuff I'm building there is usually things that's either going to directly help a team or is going to provide data and insights kind of for the whole company. A lot of the sort of CRM backend piece of that Explore directory is informing strategy. And then at the same time, me building things with AI, particularly this year, has been incredibly helpful for having sufficient context, knowing where we need to get the rest of the team to, how we should be thinking about AI, what we should be focusing on. If I don't know what it is, if I don't understand from using it what it is, it's very difficult to lead a team in any way in terms of coming up with a plan or what it is that we're supposed to do with this kind of stuff. So I try and share as much as I can with everyone in that regard of what I'm trying out, what's working, what's not working. Our whole last team retreat, team meetup, a month or two ago, was just the whole week getting everyone to try out different ways of working with AI, find out what does work, what doesn't work, where are the paper cuts within our repository. It's the interesting thing it's very different taking a Laravel New AI project and getting going, which is the easiest of easy modes. It's like just crack cocaine.
Empty shell, Oh, we lost you.
Oh, I think he muted himself. He started cursing.
You got too excited. You got too excited.
Riverside said, "Not on my watch."
Laravel New is the easy mode of AI development. Taking a 12-year-old code base like Ghost and then going, okay, now try and figure out a way to make an agent work in here. Ooh, very different story. So spent a lot of time kind of talking about experimenting with how can we make this code base more AI friendly, AI possible. Because a lot of it is like
there's just too much stuff going on for it.
Too much stuff, and Laravel has all these benefits from a decade of building up tools to improve developer experience that have directly translated into superpowers for agents. Because like PHP Artisan, all the things, Claude can do that. Okay, well, we didn't spend 10 years building like a great CLI developer experience because we were just building the product. So like our developers know all the things to do and this information and documentation, but there isn't this nice CLI tool that you can use as a feedback loop. So that's been a whole experience. So
how many of those 35 people are engineers, or 30 or 35, whatever you said?
Vast majority, almost all, probably like 28.
Whoa!
Holy cow,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, our designers are also engineers, so I'm including them in that.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. And you have like the platform plus Ghost itself and those multiple areas there. Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of interesting. I kind of started we're hiring for a support role, and I've taken that tack more. This is going to be more of a developer, this hire, than it's been in the past for this role. Like a pure like Laravel developer, basically. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that. And I think that's kind of interesting too, with like how AI is coming up. It's going to make somebody's going to be more comfortable, most likely, with using AI tools in that role and things like that too. But interesting. So now, this might be corporate secrets here, but one thing that pops in my head is like, so you've built this platform to suck in all this data about the Ghost users and like what topical areas they're in and all that stuff. So then it would feel logical for me, like you might want to do the same thing, but like for WordPress. And then, so like, you can then market to those people or sell to those people or get people to convert from, I assume WordPress is one of the big conversion points, or Drupal, or whatever the case is. So have you gone that far with like the AI yet, of like using it for that level of strategy and kind of sales and things like that, or gearing up towards that?
We don't do any, all the indie hackers in the audience going to scream. We don't really do any marketing or any sales of any kind.
Well, I mean, I'm in a similar boat.
The indie hackers are fine with that, because neither do they. It's the real business people you got to worry about.
Yeah. So no, and also like the public data that's available is actually it's very sparse. I guess there's like premium APIs for sales that you could probably pay for that are more about kind of discovering deal size and the CEO's email address and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But our average revenue per customer is $25. I think that's correct. And our average account size just never merits a sales motion, or it doesn't justify a sales motion. We wouldn't make profit on it. So we're very, very self-serve heavy. So our kind of growth strategies are really just word of mouth. Is try and make the best possible products, try and make it something people like, have them recommend it. Obviously, if they build their site on Ghost, there's going to be some number of people who go, oh, what's this thing built on, and kind of figure it out that way.
I kind of got the impression that like you like Substack and like pulling people off of Substack has been seems like a thing that's been happening with Ghost a lot. And so I was wondering if that's like increasing the deal size and like, so again, like finding which Substacks to maybe approach. Again, obviously, sounds like you're not doing that yet, but like that would be, those average deal sizes would be bigger if you're taking somebody who has 5,000 subscribers on Substack, right? Then that's going to be worth more than $25 a month to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and so we have an inbound team that deals with inquiries. They don't go out.
It's not
inviting people to switch.
Not outreach.
But when we do have those large accounts that are looking to switch over, they help with the migration and kind of dealing with all that kind of stuff. We haven't needed, I don't know if this is the right description, Substack shoot themselves in the foot so repeatedly and so frequently that they sometimes feels like they're doing our marketing for us.
Right.
Because they'll just get these huge campaigns like, we all need to get off Substack. What should we use that's nothing like this? And then those people find Ghost, which is great for us. Thank you. There's probably more opportunity if we went and tried to get some, but I don't know. I always think the dynamics of that stuff are weird. Like you go hunting a big celebrity on another platform, you try and convince them to switch. Okay, but now you've made them feel like very special and they're going to have the expectation of being treated very special forever. And then if you stop treating them very special and giving them all the special treatment, now they're going to just be upset and then talk badly about you. Maybe
it just beholden.
It's very beholden. Seems like a weird
dynamic. Nice when they're totally organic. When people arrive totally organically, it's like they came here of their own volition. They've chosen you. They are invested in you. Like they made this decision not because you cut them a deal or for other reasons, right? It's like they just looked around and were like, this is the best solution for me, and that's why I'm choosing you. Which is always the best customer, of course, in that regard. But
ideal,
okay.
And we kind of want a simple business, I don't want to be running crazy sales
have a sales team where you're firing people every month because like they're not hitting their quota and all that.
And then
stuff,
trying to remember what special treatment which like celebrity user gets or doesn't, and track all of the who's supposed to have what coupons. That one renews, this one expire.
Right.
What's going on again? I don't know. Like any time can make business simpler, I'll always go for simpler because I think the default tendency is for things to get more complex, or rather to add more potential cases to track at every given point. And Ghost is still far too complex, so anything we can do to make it simpler is good.
We're trying to get rid of projects and features here. We're not trying to add.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, decentralized, open source, nonprofit, and Node.js. It's too many. It's too many weird things. Too many weird things. You can have one or two. I've got like
Laravel
6.
Laravel New that
Can
baby,
you
right?
imagine?
Fresh start. Laravel New Ghost VL, which is the Laravel edition.
Greenfield from a 12-year-old different language project.
I like it.
That's deployed to, hundreds of thousands or millions of servers. That sounds brutal.
I love this idea. Great idea.
No, this is the worst. Of all your bad ideas, this is one of them.
Oh my goodness.
The scale of that is like pretty wild because it's tens of billions of requests per month as well. So it's like even
that's a no for me, dog.
One slip.
Yeah.
And especially like getting so many self-hosted people, it's like getting them to convert would be quite an endeavor.
Yeah.
No.
So what's your advice for the Laravel New people out there? The people who want to believe in Laravel New, who are like, yeah, we get it. Like John and Ian.
How many of these people are that, Ian? Because my impression is...
There's a lot,
man. That most people are like, Ian, please stop. This is bad.
Dude,
if you check my DMs, most people are like, Ian, please stop. This is bad.
Those are people who know too much for their own good. You know what I mean? Like, we got to reach the people who don't know. They're not that far along in the journey because Laravel New, start fresh, do it.
This is propaganda techniques, by the way. Only the elite are saying, "Don't Laravel New." What do they not want you to know?
Exactly. That's exactly right, Aaron. The government,
the deep state.
They're trying to keep Laravel New from you. They're trying to keep you in your box. Get out of your box.
Technique.
Break out of your box. Laravel New. Don't be constrained.
I do think so. You know the old Joel Spolsky famous old blog post, you should never do a rewrite. Rewrite's never worth it. Rewrite's always bad. You think they won't be, but they are. You will never win. I do think the age of AI is changing that dynamic. I think it was 100% true before. I'm not sure it's completely right anymore. I think it's
I
just
will
a
concede
very,
that point. I
very
agree.
different
I agree
operating
also, yeah.
framework that requires some mental adjustment from the what was considered a good idea and what was considered a bad idea in the past. And I'm not saying all rewrites are good by no means, but I think
Right.
it requires a bit of a mental model shift that I think nowadays maybe when you get into a tight corner, throwing away and starting over might not be as bad of an idea as it used to be.
I will cautiously agree, saying Joel Spolsky is still directionally correct, but I don't think the magnitude of the correctness is the same that it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That being said, and you're
that being said,
that being said, Ian, you should have launched each version before rewriting.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
I do like
it
that.
wasn't quite
like
launchable
that.
yet. The first one was the closest to being launchable. The second one wasn't that launchable, and then the third is, we're getting there. But it's so good
backwards?
now.
The third is even less launchable.
The third is currently less launchable, but I like its direction the best. So we're in the right. Everything's good. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna get out there probably at some point. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just learn a lot. It's the journey. It's all about the journey.
Yeah.
And I'm learning.
Always an escape hatch.
Yeah,
There's always that escape hatch. Oh, we're gonna launch, but maybe not because I've learned so much.
See, this is where you conflate my situation and Laravel New. See, someone else with a different level of motivation than I necessarily have can keep Laravel Newing, and they're gonna be like, this is so much better now in this third iteration, and then they're going fast. It's better. It's right. For me, it's a little different because I have other things going on. I'm not necessarily, this is my whole thing I'm depending on. So it's like, okay, I know this will be better. I've now hit a patch where I don't have as much time doing this hiring thing, whatever. So I'll get back around to it at some point here.
See,
and
I like the Basecamp model where they Rails new every few years.
Yeah.
There's no migration path. Keep using the old one if you want. Keep paying us if you want, or use the new one if you want. All options are open to you. But we're going to Rails new every couple of years.
It is crazy they just continue to support the old versions forever. Props to them. That's insane.
Yeah.
Stick it on a server. I mean, they don't change anything, right? Stick it on a server and leave it running.
Just I think they just do security stuff, and maybe the oldest one they don't even do that anymore or something. But I have thought about that's probably the most likely thing if we ever did it for HelpSpot. That's what we would do. It's like, okay, HelpSpot be whatever it is. Like, this is locked in forever, and then there's the new one. The only thing is, I know so many customers. I mean, they have been. I think Basecamp at some point had some way you could convert something, but it's like you don't get everything. And it's like, there was some weird, at the very beginning, there's no conversion. And then eventually they do have a converter, but it's like not, whatever. There's going to be features that don't align anymore. And so you just don't get that stuff, right? Like, we're not moving stuff, which is in a different format, basically, or whatever. And so we could probably do something like that. But yeah.
I do think if you'd made a glorified Kanban board called Outro.fm and you'd launched it with $20 a month pricing, you probably have more than 5K MRR by now, and a captive audience who is like ready to.
Guess what? They're still out there, John.
Wait, Ian,
they're still out there. There's no alternative for them
you're
yet.
All excited.
They're right there.
You're like, yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. What John is saying is you could have, but you didn't. So this is not like a point in your column. This doesn't count for you. This is not good for you.
Because
I don't know how you spun that so quickly to like, yeah, that's great, brother. That was insane.
Because they're still there. There's nothing does this. They're just in Trello. They're in the Google Docs somewhere. There's no other competitors, so they're just floating around waiting for me to finally finish.
Yeah, but let's get them in. Let's get those credit card details.
Well, here's the first thing so this is very insightful though. Okay, V1 of the product did not have a Kanban board, and I feel like you need the Kanban board. So right there, the first Laravel New is a win because you're already referencing that, right? So boom, we're already at that was important change. And then that's the big change. The third iteration was just to get to Livewire 4 and have that be the foundation and whatever. It's not as big a deal. So it's all going according to plan. That's what I'm saying. We are on track. We are on schedule.
There's no plan.
Schedule,
listen,
baby.
the people love content, and this is good content. But what they want numbers. They want money content.
They do like
that. They want to hear Ian's making money off this thing that we've been involved with from the beginning. So we gotta advance into arc 2 of.
I'm happy to do that. We're like negative $5,000
No,
right
no,
now.
that's
So right
not
now,
what they want to
we're
hear.
at
Everybody's doing
numbers,
negative
right?
5K.
We're
That's not
negative.
impressive.
Okay.
Nobody wants that.
That's not a differentiator.
And we want previews. You gotta, you know,
You gotta start trickling some visuals out
because
there.
then people start imagining themselves using it and like,
Yeah.
oh, I can
I
see
agree
how
with
I'd
that.
use this. Ian, when's it going to be ready? When's it going to be ready? And then like this
yeah, but see, I'd like to
excitement.
be a little farther along with it, so I know it's going to ship. I'm not to the I know it's going to ship part
That's
yet.
how they
You know what
get
I'm
you.
saying?
That's how they get
Yeah,
you.
that's how they get
But
you.
now I know. Now I actually feel best. This is the best I felt about it shipping. I think it will ship. I just have to actually do the work now. You know.
Well, let's
You
leak
know,
some
it's tricky.
previews. Come on, let's get this.
I agree.
You know, I'm not like a work in public guy like that on that level. You know, like I am once I
just
get
do
a
a
little
weekly
farther.
podcast where you talk about the work that you're doing.
Right.
I don't know how to tell you
know.
this.
But you know what I'm saying? It's different. That I agree with John in the sense of like that makes it real, right? That makes it real for them. That makes it real for me in a way that maybe I'm not ready to be committed on that level of realness yet. But soon.
What about
soon?
You do an Elon? You just commit to a launch date. Doesn't exist. It's
and
irrelevant.
blow right by it.
Complete bullshit. But you just say a date, everyone gets excited, and you go past that date, irrelevant, still doesn't matter. Say a new date.
This is going. What you're forgetting the most important part, which is everybody pays me money, right? Like you have to pay money to be on the list for the imaginary release date. Now we're talking.
There you go.
That's actually a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good idea. I've never done a pre-release thing like that before of a pay me money before it's available thing. So that's kind of interesting.
You know what? You have an amazing growth strategy as well. Because you want podcasts. You can position yourself as supposedly wanting to advertise on other podcasts with Outro FM, but you don't actually want them to take the ad slot, right? Because you don't care if the ad runs on the podcast. You just want the owner of the podcast to read your email. And so by emailing them like, hey, can I advertise on your podcast? Tell me your rates. I've got this product. Outro FM does this.
Yep.
That's now better than a sales email. It's a sponsorship requirement. Everyone's clicking the link.
It's pretty good.
You don't need to buy the ad slot.
It's great.
Their audience
is pretty good.
I am 100% with you on this. This has crossed my mind.
80% with
both
you on
for
this.
actually running the ads, which I think would be useful, but also for the exposure of it. And along the same lines, like being these interview podcasts are always looking for people to interview. It's like their whole thing is every week I need someone to interview.
Yes.
So now I can be that someone to interview. And
credit where credit is due, you would be a great guest on a bunch of random podcasts. You got the energy. You got it. It would be great.
Explain Laravel New to so many new people.
Crush on a podcast tour.
This guy, all he wants to do is talk about something called Laravel New. We don't even understand what it means. It's not. This is a cooking podcast. We don't even know why he's here talking about this, but he's here. He's here.
Man.
Anyway.
All right.
We should
gave
get that
the
tattoo.
people a good one. No, you're not getting that tattoo.
Aaron, I think you should also get it.
No, Aaron, we're doing it.
Send me Jamie's number. I have something unrelated I need to talk to her about.
John's going to take out 2 tattoo virgins. He's going to get his tattoo with Laravel New. That's what he's doing.
I would love to get a tattoo. I would love to get a 3/4 sleeve. I think it would look so badass. I'm trying to convince Jennifer to get a 1/4 sleeve or a half sleeve. But I'll tell you what I'm not doing is getting Laravel New tattooed on my body.
Gotta do it. Laravel New.
Not a chance. That's just a hard no. No.
Dude, we'll get you. All right. Thanks, John, for coming on. Oh.
Well, I've just remembered that Aaron's malleable and capitalist. Aaron, how much sponsorship commitment for us to change your mind on this?
Okay, now that's trouble. That's trouble.
Go. You want that house next door, Aaron? You want to buy that house and turn it into a parking deck or something, whatever you're doing there?
What do we got? What do we got to raise?
I can't.
50,000.
There's an outside chance that it would happen. So I can't say.
So make it a good number.
Make it profitable. I like this idea. John's a genius. No. Yes, let's fundraise around your tattoo.
If I ended up with a Laravel New tattoo on my body.
And a new house? Are you kidding?
Yeah, exactly.
Tattoos are removable.
Okay, that would be a good trade.
You could also just do one of those like script, it's just like it's just written out Laravel New in like nice cursive writing. Like it doesn't have to be like Laravel New in block letters across your face,
No, it can be
all right. I'll set a high price. I'll set a high price that I would it can't be like it can't be like visible. It can't be like on my forearm.
On the bottom of your foot or something.
I would do like a high thigh. So if I wore like some short shorts, you might be able to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost $1 million.
$1 million? You're You're being a little
Yeah.
greedy. Come on, man.
You said a
It's
new
just
house.
a tattoo.
You said a new house. I'm not doing it for
Okay.
less than $1 million.
Right, this
So-
GoFundMe is going to have some work to do.
John
Yep.
was going to sponsor you personally, and now you messed it all up. He was
Well,
ready
no,
to
I'm gonna
cut
cut it-
50 grand
to
right now.
$750,000.
Oh,
$7
okay. This
$50.
negotiating
telling you,
strategy
I'm-
is wild.
I'm not getting a tattoo.
I thought you
Okay,
wanted a
I'll talk to
sleeve, you
Taylor.
just said.
And Hank.
I do
We'll
want
see
a
what we can do.
sleeve, but not a
Yeah, talk to
sleeve of
Hank.
like Laravel News and a bunch of Lambos and
You get
stuff.
like Lambos and Otwell
No,
face,
that's so
you know,
embarrassing.
Laravel New.
No,
Get a little Eric Barnes on
How
the
much you want this
backside
house?
here.
I want a lot of things.
Well,
I
so
do.
you weren't here for the previous episode here, John, but his neighbor's house, it's like worth whatever it's worth, but then we got convinced the neighbor's not selling the house. So
Right.
we're going to
Yeah.
need extra money to convince the neighbor to
Right.
leave. So it's
Yes.
going to juice the price.
And then even
but,
extra to tear it down and build an underground garage and then a house on top of it and then tear down my current house and put a pool where it is. So that's why the price is so high for the tattoo.
Yep.
Because I got
All
a
right,
long
well-
way to go.
Reach out to us, contact us over at mostlytechnical.com if you're interested in sponsoring Aaron's tattoo. If you're willing to put in at least $10,000 for this, reach out.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the demand is. We'll see if people are interested.
And then
And if we
Ian,
get a few of
what-
those,
what amount do
Oh.
you need available to take to a poker table to turn it into 750? Like, if we get you
now
250,
now
can
we're
that
getting
become
closer.
750?
this is big brain stuff right here. Like, yes,
We
we
get a
fundraise
couple
just
streams
enough
out of it. Yeah.
to play a
Mhm.
big game.
Yeah.
I would say like a realistic amount, which you still have to run good and play good and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think like 50 to 100,000. Like we could run
Oh,
that up to
really?
750.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I think we could.
That's doable.
Yeah, I think it's possible. 100 would be better, but you could do it 50. It would take longer because you have to like build up a little bit to the stakes big enough to get to the 750. But
This is going poorly.
I think
for
if we
me.
got to 50 or 100, I think we could do it. And
we
then,
could
you
go
know,
fund me 50 to 100 surely.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna go fund me 50 to 100 to stake Ian to go turn that
Yes.
into 750 to pay me to get
Yes.
Laravel New tattooed on my thigh.
Dude,
Yes.
this is a great idea. This is such a good idea. I get a little vacation out of it, right? I go play poker for a
Exactly.
month somewhere. Yeah, man.
This is why we try
a
to keep the
great
shows to an hour because
idea.
this last 15 minutes is off the
No.
rails.
What?
This is insane.
It's true.
It's like
It's
every
true.
time I talk to John, I think, can he get smarter? And every time he does, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I've never known anybody like this. It's like every time he's smarter than the last time I talked to him. It's like, I don't know what he's on the creatine or something, right? There's something going on. He's taking the supplements. The AI, the Claude Code is infiltrating his brain. Maybe he's got
Mhm.
Elon's
Oh,
chip
I
in there
wish.
already,
That
you
would
know?
be so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, something's going on, but this is a great idea. All right, we're gonna make this happen. If you're willing to put in 10 grand towards staking me to win 750 for Aaron's tattoo, reach out.
I will say that would be the greatest podcast content arc of all time.
Would be a pretty good podcast. I feel like we need to grow the audience around this whole thing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's a weird audience we'd be growing, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
Good Lord.
All
Thanks for
right.
coming.
Thanks, guys.
It was fun.
Tons.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome having you here. Thanks so much. Check us out, mostlytechnical.com. Sponsor the show, subscribe, all the stuff. And we will be back next week with a regular show. So thanks, everybody. Thanks to the sponsors. See you next week. Later.
Yep.